This lesson is lesson 9-8, factoring by grouping. Today's objectives is to factor polynomials with 4 terms and to factor trinomials by grouping. I'm not sure if we'll get through, make this video 1 or 2 videos depending on how long it takes me to do this lesson. And then vocabulary. You can use the distributive property to factor by grouping if 2 groups of terms have the same factor, which I'll show you what that means when we get to example 1. So let's go to example 1. All right. So the first thing you are going to do on example 1, it says factor each expression. But the only way to do that is you're going to group them into 2. So you have this expression and you have this expression. And we're going to factor both of them. So factoring means find the greatest common factor of the numbers inside of the parentheses. So we'll start with this first set of parentheses. So the greatest common factor of 4n cubed plus 8n squared is 4n squared. And then we figure out what's left over. Well, what's left over is n plus 2. And then you're going to do the next set of problems. You have negative 5n minus 10. Well, I want to take out both negatives because they both work together. So I'm going to go, it's negative 5. And then you have n plus 2. As you can tell, the 2 sets of parentheses are the same. Then this works together because they are both the same. So the second step is to take the 2 numbers that you just made as your greatest common factor, and you're going to put them in one set of parentheses. So it's going to be 4n squared minus 5. And then you take the 2 set of parentheses that are the same and just make it 1. So it's n plus 2. And then that would be your answer. Let's try that again. B. You have 2 sets of parentheses you're making together. We find out what the common factors of 5t to the 4th plus 20t cubed is. Well, 5 goes into both, and t cubed can go into both. What's left over is t plus 4. And then on the second one, 6 can go into both. What's left over is t plus 4. Again, these 2 are the same. If you do not have the same inside the parentheses, you're not factoring correctly. So then, again, you take your 2 set of numbers that are on the outside, and you put them together. So it would be 5t cubed plus 6 in parentheses, and then t plus 4 on the other set of parentheses. And there's your answer. Why don't you try C and D by yourself? Put me on pause and come back and see if you did them correctly. Okay, here's your answers for C and D. C, you would have w squared minus 7 and 2w plus 1. And D, you would have 9t squared minus 1 and 3t plus 5. All right. On example 2, the first thing you're going to do before you can even do the grouping we did, we are going to take out some greatest common factor also on all 4 of these terms before you can even group them. So we need to figure out what number can go into 12, 10, 36, and 30. And what number can go, what variable, what check to see if there's a variable for each of them. There's a variable for each of those. So the biggest number would be 2, and the smallest amount of p's would be just 1 p. And then you can factor them out, so it would be 6p cubed plus 5p squared minus 18p minus 15. Now we can group them into two special groups. We're going to have this group and this group. You're going to keep your 2p on the outside. And I'm going to find a number that can go into both 6 and 5. That's nothing, but p squared is in both, so I can put p squared on the outside. And then it would be 6p plus 5. And then I would have what number goes into 18 and 15, which would be minus 3. And then it would be 6p plus 5. Again, you have the same factors in parentheses. So again, you bring down your 2p. Remember to bring your 2p down. And then you go p squared minus 3 and 6p plus 5 in two sets of parentheses right there. And that's how you would do it. Why don't you try b by yourself and put me on pause and then try it and see if you're correct. Okay. B would be 3m and then 3m squared plus 2 in the first set of parentheses and 5m minus 1 in the second set of parentheses. Now we're going to try example 3. It's a little different. You have trinomials. With a trinomial, you're going to have a totally different set of steps you're going to have to do. So I'm going to put the steps on the side of A, right over here. And I'm going to put step 1. Step 1 is you're going to multiply the first and third numbers together. So step 1 right over here, I'm going to multiply 25 times negative 25. Multiply 24 and negative 25 together. And you would find out that was negative 600. Step 2. Find two factors from step 1 which will find your middle. Which will find your middle. So step 2. Well, we have some factors here. We have 50 and 12. Well, negative 12 or negative 50 and positive 12. It doesn't matter at this point. And then you have, well, we have 40 and negative 15. And because they're opposite signs, you're going to add them together. So let's look at it. We have 50 plus negative 12. And that would get you 38. And then we would have 40 plus negative 15. And that would be 25. And those two numbers work with your middle number. since we found our middle, we don't have to go any further on this factoring. Step 3, put these factors into your trinomial. So, you're going to take these two factors and put them in for your 25q. So, your new trinomial is going to look like, it's going to become a 4-term polynomial. So, it will be 24q squared minus 15 minus 15, and then you have 15q, and then plus 40q minus 25. And the reason why I chose the 15 in the spot is because I noticed this sign right here. If you look at the minus 25, that's telling me my second number has to be a negative, so that's the reason why I put the minus 15q there. We'll do this again with another lesson, another example. Okay, so now we're going to factor them. What number goes into both 24q squared and 15q? And that would be 3q. And what's left over is 8q minus 5. And what factor can go into 40q and 25? That would be 5. And then you would have left over 8q minus 5. As you can tell, now you have the same. So now it would be 3q plus 5 and 8q minus 5. Okay. Since we don't have any space over here, I'm going to do E, and we'll work together through. So first you're going to multiply the 12 and the negative 10 together, so you go 12 times negative 10, which equals negative 120. And you need to find some factors of 120. Alright, we are going to stop this video and redo from E and above. Something happened with E, so watch video 2 and you can see what happens. Bye-bye.